Hi-ho, it's Land School of the Savvy Navigator, and I'm down at Darling Harbour today. I've been to a business-to-business exhibition, and I thought I'd show you a bit of Sydney Harbour in Darling Harbour, which is one of the offshoots of the main Sydney Harbour. So, let's go.
To give some perspective, here's the continent and island of Australia. We've got the red marker there on Sydney. To the right is the Pacific Ocean, and down south there is New Zealand. Above is Papua New Guinea and Indonesia, and to the left is the Indian Ocean. As you can see, I'm pointing at the Opera House, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which goes to the north shore of Sydney, and then Darling Harbour's pointed, and you can just see faintly there Pyrmont Bridge, and that's where I'm standing when I do this video.
So I'm outside the Australian National Maritime Museum, and it's a great museum, and we're actually on what used to be, well, it still is, Pyrmont Bridge, but this used to be a vehicular thoroughfare, but it's been turned into a pedestrian bridge going from Pyrmont to the city of Sydney, which you can see up there. Now, this is the Maritime Museum on this side of the bridge here. You can see the Australian coat of arms there. And down here, you'll be able to see, you can see a bit of this is a beautiful bridge. It's great that it's been preserved. The stonework is immaculate. And lampposts, etc. And this steel girding along the side here. But down here, you can see some anchors, so I'll give you a bit of a zoom into there. And then behind them is some of the boats that are part of the Maritime Museum here. And you'll see that in the skyline, the city of Sydney, the centre point tower up there you can see is the tall tower now with the Westfield insignia on it. And going across to the left here, you can see a lot of these three buildings here are the new Barangaroo towers that were built on some of the old wharves prior to containerisation. The harbour here in Sydney is not a working harbour for cargo vessels anymore. They all go south of Sydney, about 30 kilometres south, to Botany Bay, where there's a number of container terminals, and that's where all the cargo arrives or leaves Australian shores as far as Sydney's concerned. Just over behind these towers there is actually the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and the main harbour is out there. But as we come along here, you'll actually see some of the ships, and you probably won't get a view of everything here today because I'm just walking across the bridge. You can see a naval vessel there. You can see in the background a sailing ship. I think it's the old Captain Cook replica, the Endeavour, and you can see a floating lighthouse there as well. So this is the Maritime Museum. There's a lot of displays inside. You can see that lighthouse there displayed, and above there's another set of masts of a square rigger behind there. But inside, I haven't actually been inside. A friend of mine actually used to be a guide in there. But there's a wonderful display inside apparently. I'm now going to go across to this other side of the bridge, which is further into the Darling Harbour Bay. And all this area used to be finger ships, finger wharves. So if you think of fingers as wharves, that's those lots of finger wharves. They demolished most of those in Darling Harbour. And here you can see the Darling Harbour Bayside, a lot of shops and restaurants. And what you can see, this building here is the new International Convention Centre, Sydney. And on the other side of that freeway that you can see there, the overpass, is the Exhibition Centre, which I've just been to. Now, there's a bit of history about this. The original Exhibition and Convention Centre was built in 1988, and it was demolished in 2013. They wanted to do a total rebuild, so they demolished the whole thing with $120 million of large expanse of convention and exhibition centres. They demolished them, got highly criticised by many architects, but this convention centre now, that's the convention centre there and the exhibition on the other side of the overpass, opened up late last year, 2016, and also this big skyscraper has been erected now. Now you can see down here there's a marina over there. Now this area used to be a lot of cargo vessels, and over there where you can see this building here, PwC, that's probably where my first job was in 1968, and in Druitt Street. And the skyline has changed very dramatically since I started work in 1968. So I'll walk up here and give you a bit of a view. It's very pleasant walking along this. I used to drive across here a lot to do wharf examinations, inspection of cargo, customs examinations, quarantine examinations. So a lot of old memories. This used to be a swing bridge. In other words, it used to swing open so ships on this side could come in and out, enable them to actually access that part of the harbour. So we go back over here now to the actual museum side. Give you a good view of that battleship there, and a lot of restaurants along the foreshore here, and a lot of boats that take people on cruises out on Sydney Harbour. Some nice sailing vessels there, beautiful. So what I'll do is do a bit of a zoom up the harbour there, give you a bit better view of some further outside there. Okay, we might leave it at that. I hope that's been a bit helpful for you. All the best. Bye for now.